Yeah, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Public, please hold comments until the select board chairman opens the agenda items for public comment. When addressing the board, state your full name, both in person and on Zoom, please. It is suggested that you enter your full name as your ID on Zoom. Minutes, I will take a motion to approve the minutes of July 21, 2025.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, appointments, recognitions, and resignations. Appointment of April O'Neill as the Public Works Office Coordinator, effective no sooner than September 2nd, 2025, at a starting rate of $28.33 per hour, increasing to $29.91 per hour after the successful completion of a 6-month probation.
Move appointment.
Second.
All in favor? Request appointment of Ann Bissell to the Economic Development Committee, effective August 5, 2025.
Move appointment with thanks.
Second.
All in favor? Claire Wolfick, Town Clerk, Certificate of Completion for New England Municipal Clerks Institute and Academy. Institute 1 and 23 CMC points towards certification or certified municipal clerk, 2 CM certification, and first place winner in the year 1 New England Municipal Poster Contest. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Consent agenda, Hancock County Commissioners warrant giving public notice of Commissioner District Caucus for election of Budget Advisory Committee members, August 18, 2025 at 2 p.m. Hancock Town Office, 18 Point Road, Hancock, Maine.
Move the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
We got this posted somewhere?
I have posted it in the post offices and on our bulletin board.
Okay. We don't have to put like an ad in the paper or anything?
No,
Okay.
that's up to them.
Okay.
Posted with the wanted posters.
Right. Any select board reports?
I've got, just Brian, I'm sorry to keep asking about this, but I see they moved some of the rocks around that pole, but they shifted that great big one. I don't know, you really don't need that great big rock, but they've shifted it so it is north, you got like hanging out a foot or two north of the pole. And you can't, I can see why they did it, because there was a parking spot there beside the pole. But can they just take that rock out and put a smaller one in?
I thought that.
So I apologize for, yeah, but that does make it a nuisance to try to get a trailer in there to load traps or unload traps.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, anybody?
I just have a question, and I guess Derlin, with the thought that Northern Light is doing some communicating with Anthem, is there any pre-planning for a plan B, or do you just wait until Northern Light says we're not going to accept Anthem? Or
I haven't heard anything from our health trust yet on that.
you haven't?
No, I
Okay.
haven't. So if I get, once they do have something, then I'll let you
So
know.
it comes from them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, they're the ones that
I
respond.
thought that had to be something more than what you read in the
Yeah.
newspaper. Okay, thank you.
Well, I think there's also a lot of confusion about whether you have an HMO or a PPO.
Right.
Through Anthem,
Yeah,
because it won't affect people that can pick, they don't have to have a primary and so on. There's very confusing.
it's very
It's scary
confusing
to
when
a lot
you
of people.
hear.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Yeah, I have a brief announcement. I've been elected to the executive board of the Hancock County Planning Commission.
Oh, good for you.
So I'll be representing, they're still missing a lot of folks representing the island. So they asked me to do it, and which is great. They offer a lot of resources vis-a-vis year-round housing, sustainability.
Nice.
And so I can act as a conduit to get us plugged into some of those things. And I think, Brian, you've also had conversations with those folks.
Sorry, that was a little distracted, sorry.
Hancock County Planning Commission. You've met those guys.
I met with a recent hire that they have that does sustainability related work, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She had some great ideas about things that we can do collaboratively there, yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Anyway, that's it. All I have. Unfinished business.
postpone that to April, to the next meeting. Noel was unable to make it, so
Okay.
we'll bring him back on the 18th.
New business, Bart and Ann Chase request for setback nullification pursuant to section 3.5D of the Town of Mount Desert's Land Use Zoning Ordinance, Richardson Avenue, Otter Creek. You're the only, yep.
This is Bart Chase, and my wife Ann is with me. We are the owners of 2 Richardson Avenue. Our property abuts to the rear, in the rear to the parkland of the town. We have a very small kitchen. We'd like to add an addition that includes 4 counter space and an actual dining table, kitchen table. In order to do that, best location for that is in the rear yard. I've submitted a site plan that identifies where the proposed addition would be. It would encroach the 15-foot setback requirement by about 9 feet. Requesting consideration, given the town's ability to concede and accept our request by a written agreement.
And this wouldn't be, it would be a single story.
Single story.
Yeah. And you're the first house on the left as you go down Richardson.
Yes.
Okay. All right, where that is.
That's quite a boundary you got there.
Yeah, that's it. I wish I could explain it. That doesn't make sense to me, but that's what we,
That's right below the playground.
yeah, so the playground is higher than where our first floor level is, and it exceeds, 12, 15 feet up.
I didn't realize that was a park in behind you.
Yeah, it's enjoyed by people and residents in Otter Creek, mostly young.
No, I mean, oh, is that the park? I was thinking you said National Park,
No, it's
the
town.
playground.
Yeah, Village of Otter Creek.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's
Basketball.
where the old school was.
Yep. Mhm.
I'm very familiar with that park. I live right up the street.
It's a park that's nice to have. It's convenient for families. It's nice to have some open space.
Yeah. Well, it's, yeah, and in addition, actually, it is below the level of the park.
Yeah,
You wouldn't
yeah.
even know it.
Yeah, I don't see a problem, because most of the time, for my understanding of setbacks is like you don't want 2 houses close together and they can't fight a fire.
Mhm.
So I don't have any reason why he shouldn't be able to. Well, get it,
Is that a motion?
Yeah, you want to make a motion to accept the,
Again, yeah. I make a
oh,
motion. I don't know, I've never made a motion.
okay.
It's high time.
Make a motion to
approve their request.
approve the request for the
Yeah,
setback.
okay, I make a motion to approve. Bart and Ann Chase request for setback nullification.
And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Excellent. Thank you for your consideration.
Okay, review and approve recommendation to accept Coastal Energy propane bid of $1.31 per gallon.
Right.
Approval.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Can we get that too?
Yes.
All right. Nice job on that. Request authorization to engage Project Staffing LLC for temporary HR manager placement. So I have a question about this. Is this all about, did this start as a trying to fill our seasonal positions? Is this related to that at all?
Well, I mean, the idea of using staffing agency to do such things kind of came from that initially.
Okay,
And this looked like, this is an area that we've met internally.
Yeah.
That's crucial.
Several factors. This request.
yeah.
This is us going it alone, for the HR position. Yeah,
Yeah, there's not an option of sharing. at this
okay.
time.
Yeah. Okay,
And this is a sort of a you're saying this is a temporary situation?
So we don't have the appropriate budget in fiscal year 26 to finance a full-time on-staff HR manager. So we're trying to fill the gaps with a temporary part-time with the budget that we have allocated. And sort of just mitigate a lot of the situations that we're running into as best we can.
Yeah.
Before
See.
we start budget for 27.
Yeah, so we don't have Zach with us anymore.
Right, I understand that, but you've checked out references, people that have worked with this agency and used them in this way?
We're using them now for the.
Yeah, right, but
For the
for
refuse
this kind of position.
No,
It worked out so well with the refuse people.
Mhm.
So how does it work? Do they, like, do people that are in HR, obviously they have HR experience. I mean, you're not just gonna, I think HR is very different from someone to work on the
Right,
refuse truck.
100%, yeah, so they do overall staffing for various positions across multiple organizations. So they can hire anyone from a HR person to a finance person to a wastewater, I mean, there's across the board, they know how to hire people, and they do all the recruitment, all of the costs associated with that. And then they also based on the hourly rate that we pay the employee, they'll have a multiplier for their fees, and that will cover their health insurance, their benefits,
Oh.
their employee taxes, like in Medicare, all that stuff. That's actually quite large expenses that don't really go noticed in regular salary and wages lines.
but do they propose someone to you and then you get to interview them and see if it's a good fit? So it's not just you, they're just handing
No,
you
I'm not
something.
gonna throw you
Okay.
someone else, we did interview them.
Okay,
you can be part of the interview process, and so they're gonna recruit basically.
I see,
On our
okay,
behalf.
I see, okay.
And then we've already talked about who internally would want to be on that interview committee,
Yeah.
and May definitely needs to be on it. Mike Bender has asked to be on it as well, and I would like to be.
Yeah,
We're
good.
sort of the three that drive.
Yeah,
most of the agenda
most
meetings.
needs, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think it makes complete sense then.
And that's why we're trying someone out
Yeah.
before, just at 20 hours a week or 25, and seeing if they fit within the organization, if they're are conducive with the environment, and make sure that they are qualified and are able to do exactly what we need them to do. When we hire them,
Is there a possibility of then hiring them?
once
Once we had the budget?
for the budget, 26.
Okay,
Yeah, so we've got about half of the money already funded
right.
in there.
So these might be people that are looking for full-time HR, but
Yes.
they're maybe doing it with this company for two different organizations.
Exactly.
Okay,
Or someone that's a retired HR manager who just wants to get some extra hours
okay.
Mhm.
to help a local municipality.
Beauty of this is you don't have all the liabilities if you bring
Right,
somebody on, they
right.
don't work out. You know, you just say it's not working out, it's a really good way to test somebody at zero risk. For the
It
organization.
also reduces the liabilities that we currently have, because we have a lot of staff. We have staff turnover, we have staff onboarding, we have
Right.
disciplinary actions, we have workers' comp, we have contracts.
Yeah, you really need,
Compliance with contracts and compliance with our policy and updates to our policy manual and payroll and.
Payroll,
The
education,
list,
health
the list is
benefits, all
extensive,
the
that we are
benefits.
just sort of.
I would move authorization.
second,
Yes,
All in favor?
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, right. Move signature on engagement letter from James Wadman regarding audit of the fiscal year ended June 30, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
That's it, get you signed.
Okay. Discussion of whether the select board would favor the League of Towns having the League of Towns draft a moratorium for the regulation of intoxicating hemp products.
It's a really interesting thing, you know, the
Well-
THC laws do not cover hemp.
But they figured out how to extract a level of THC out of what previously was not strong enough to be regulated. And people are being fed it without their knowledge.
Absolutely.
I spoke to a woman who's, been free of any substances for 30 years. That went to dinner at a restaurant locally close by and ordered off the non-alcoholic beverage menu, only to discover after she finished this that it was full of THC.
No,
And
That's terrible.
it's not okay.
How is that even legal?
It is because the hemp doesn't have enough THC in its natural state
to be marketable. And so it flew under the radar. It's not even
Okay.
in the cannabis range, but they've figured out a process by which they can extract the THC from this super low producing
Wow.
part of the plant.
And it's not even an age requirement.
No, it's not regulated. People are buying it by mistake at gas stations and you can get it and any place, anywhere, and it's not okay. And,
It's pretty scary stuff.
Yeah.
we'll put a moratorium on betting on the next pitch, but we can take some action here.
You know, that-
Yeah.
But this moratorium that they're proposing, we wouldn't be able to put it in place until our next town meeting. Is there
you could have a special.
well, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like it does sound like a serious.
These are on menus in just regular restaurants.
Yeah.
Does it say like?
No.
It's a so how?
All over the,
You don't,
You don't know.
It says some, doesn't it say hemp or something?
It doesn't, this,
Doesn't-
from what I heard, this person that I know ordered an alcohol-free margarita. Everybody else was having cocktails. They brought it to her in with a salted glass, but it came out of a can. If the glass was full, when she made a little room, the waiter brought the rest of the can and she looked at the can and that's when she discovered it.
Huh.
And she, spoke with the manager and said, you should put that on the menu. That should be clear, da, 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 da. But there's no requirement that they do. And frankly, you can't expect people to care if there's profit involved.
So do you know what the regulations are gonna be, or is that gonna be
They're-
another discussion?
The legislature is going to address this, but they won't be doing anything until January. And you don't know what will come out of there. So what you want to do is to get something on to make it illegal in the town until such time as the legislature acts and sets its own laws on there. So,
Mhm.
But it requires a town vote.
yes.
I would 100% support
Me
Yeah.
too.
trying to make that happen.
A special town
I can
meeting.
let the chair of the league.
So can they do this fairly quickly?
They will, yeah.
Because they're
It's going to all-
doing it in another states,
It's
so.
going to all the.
Yeah.
The council and select boards at their next meeting, so, they should be able to draft something probably in September when they start.
Okay.
when they
And
meet again.
do you regularly, is it appropriate for you to communicate with other town managers and say that your select board voted that we would like to call a special meeting, as town meeting, and so hopefully some of the other towns, at least on the island, will join us in
Bar
calling,
Harbor can act on their own,
okay.
but the Tremont.
Tremont can't, Southwest can't.
Our select board thing, so.
I can promise you that there's people in Southwest.
When they'd like to do it fairly quickly, because they'd like to have a uniform ordinance.
Yeah.
That's across
Yes.
the whole island.
so if
town.
you're talking about a special town meeting, obviously I need to know and start the
Yeah.
process. We are having a November election in 90 days from today, so. And the deadline for me to notify the state. The deadline for me to notify the state that we're holding a local election in conjunction with the state election is the 15th of this month.
Maybe that won't happen because they're not even meeting this month.
So then you're talking about a whole other special thing, and I'm just saying, if you wanted it on a referendum, that's a state election, which you would have
Well, we don't have time to do
decent
it.
turnout.
Yeah,
Otherwise, your next meeting is in May.
that's why we're thinking special town.
Can we
Can we do it
a
by,
referendum?
That was my question back
You-
here.
Could do it on a referendum if you have time to write the referendum question and to get it printed. And that I have time to notify the state that you're.
The 15th,
Of September?
no,
August.
August,
No.
And so you're not gonna have time to
Yeah, we'll
probably
do it
write that.
from Friday,
You
yeah.
got 10
Yeah.
days.
They won't
can we
even.
lift it from another municipality?
How much notice we have to get for a special town meeting?
Well, if you're talking. There's what our charter says, but then there's reality. Okay, so reality, if you want a referendum, it takes,
Can we all listen to Claire? It's confusing.
right, if you want a referendum, I'm gonna need a minimum of 60 days because I have to request the coding of the voting machine and get the ballots printed and get all the notices of the election and everything posted.
If it's a special town meeting?
Yes, if you want it on a referendum.
Well, no, we
what are
don't need it if we
talking-
just had a vote like we do on many of the warrant articles, why can't we do that?
Okay, so if you want an open floor
Yeah.
town meeting,
Correct.
then you're probably, I believe the charter says 45 days.
Okay.
But that's pushing it too, you know, I mean,
Okay,
Okay,
I hear you.
Okay,
because you've gotta have the committee meet and go over everything and
Yep.
all kinds of stuff.
so it's conceivable we could do it in October.
And.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do it and it's worth doing
Yeah.
rather than waiting till
I
May.
Well,
agree.
ask Claire, is it conceivable we could do it?
Well, I'm taking a 2-week vacation the first 2 weeks in September.
So
So,
we'd be looking at maybe November, is that?
well, and then if you're doing November, then you might as well do it because I haven't budgeted for another. Whatever.
Ken, so you're saying we need at least 45 days once we make a decision.
Well,
And
once,
when do we-
do we have to have the thing written
Yeah.
before we announce the town?
Yeah, because if
Because you have
you're
to-
calling a special town meeting, you're gonna have to do the citizen petition, the whole
Right.
thing to do that, and you have to have the question written, and then you have to accept everything and.
Well, yeah.
You do the whole process.
I understand. I think we all understand the process and it's not, well, maybe we don't understand the process, but we understand that there is a process.
Yeah.
But I think it's also fairly clear that we would all like to initiate that process.
Right.
And as soon as we possibly can, so that even if you're not here for 2 weeks, the process has been initiated, would be great, in my opinion.
I think there's a lot more to it though, right? I mean, I'm just concerned if we rush this and try to get it in, that there'll be some sort of wording.
Know what the warrant article is going to be,
Right.
and you're not gonna have that until you have legal draft something up of what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's-
So we're actually looking into like maybe January.
I don't, it all depends on how fast you can get something drafted and, you know,
Yep.
and then if you draft it and change your mind later, then, you know, it kind of.
well, I think that going back to what Derlin's saying is why don't we let the League of Towns put something together
Because
so it's a
they-
uniform.
Because the issues right now are not really in the town of Mount Desert, they're in the other 3 towns, so until they get their hands on something,
Right.
it doesn't make much difference what we do here, because the problem we're facing is here now. And it still will be here now, even if we were the first ones to go, because
Right, but
no one's identified any of those products here yet.
Well, and then I spoke to her, the one that came to the meeting, Natasha,
Natasha.
and she only checked Stonesville One Stop. She didn't check Pine Tree or anything else, so. One Stop apparently doesn't have any, but that doesn't mean nobody else in town.
right.
Well, yeah, and
And restaurants theoretically as
Right,
well.
Right, there you go, same thing, yeah.
And things can change very quickly.
But I think it's important to get it out in the public that the town of Mount Desert is not supportive of something like this, hoping that if the nor'easter decides they want to put it on the, like they might respect that. So I agree.
Well, hopefully that would, well, who knows who's listening, but anyway.
Phil wants to talk.
Just got my hand up.
Yeah, Phil.
I think I behoove the board to write to the possible people that would serve something like that to all your restaurants and ask them to refrain from selling the product until we have had something drafted. I think that could be it really could step in the right direction by just, because we've been in a small town, you can do things like that. You can't do it in a big city. I think it would really be helpful to get the thing moving, so we can, again, so the League of Towns has a uniform draft of everything, and I think.
And there's gotta be some
Yeah.
towns that have these written up that we
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
draft
It
from.
happened pretty
What were you
fast.
saying, Phil, like just ask them as a courtesy, would you not?
Courtesy until that we have the proper, circle written and drafted.
Yeah.
Please not sell these things.
Yeah.
Courtesy to the public.
That sounds good.
I mean, we've had problems in our own household with energy drinks. All these energy drinks have, terrible things. There's, Celsius,
Yeah.
Monsters, all these things that are, have very intense purple substances, and now they've become the mainstream. Then that's another story in itself. So these products need to be regulated and they're not. For anything we can do to slow it down.
100%.
Okay, so let's just get back to the motion on the table here.
So I would move that Derlin convey to the League of Towns that we are interested in having this drafted.
Second.
All in favor? And do we want to,
I think that Bill has a good idea that maybe we could ask Derlin to draft a letter that we would sign.
And bring-
and send to local businesses.
Or have ask the Chamber of Commerce to do so.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
yeah,
They have probably a more thorough list and
That's
it is a good idea.
Yeah,
Dr. George and.
yeah, yeah. So-
that would,
Great.
that would do a lot for
Yeah,
lots of things.
Yeah. All right. All right. League of Towns Fall Day for elected officials meeting is October 30, 2025 at the Neighborhood House from 5:30 to 8. I actually have that on my phone.
What do we have to do there?
Be present.
Put it on, no, I mean, we don't need to make a motion or anything. Move that. I
Yep.
hear you.
Good. Okay. Acknowledge receipt.
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm guessing we're not going to see an agenda for that for,
Well, probably Noel can tell you when that would happen, because he's coming at the next meeting, so. Won't get a formal agenda probably till September sometime.
Okay.
I would think.
all right. So, public comment on anything thus far discussed? Other business, any other business, anyone? Okay, treasurer's warrants. Approval and signature town invoice AP 2609 and DD 2603 for a grand total of $1,668,802.28.
Move approval and signature.
second,
All in favor? State fees and payroll benefits, approval and signature, state fees and payroll benefits. AP 2607, AP 2608, and town payroll PR 2603 for a total of $344,601.33.
Move approval.
second,
All in favor?
One abstention.
Acknowledgement, school invoices, school payroll PR 03 for a total of $84,861.87.
Move
acknowledgement,
second.
All in favor? Motion to adjourn.
So move.
second.
Favor.